What is up, everybody? Shauna D Man here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week. We are here to basically do the preview and talk about Auburn's upcoming game against Mercer this Saturday. I believe it's a 1 p.m. kickoff in Jordan-Hare Stadium. But before we get into that, tomorrow, Thursday, I will have kind of the next episode up already. Or not up already, but it'll be coming out on Thursday, and that's the Auburn basketball side of things. So just wanted to put that out there, let you guys know to expect that tomorrow. So also football side of things, number one, Auburn's still looking for a brand new head coach. John Cohen has had interviews with several people. Obviously, the big names are take it for what you, I guess, if you want to call them big names. Obviously, John Summerall, who a lot of people are presuming is the favorite to land the job. Obviously, DJ Durkin is also somebody who is potentially in the mix. I don't know how high up the list he is, but he is somebody who is potentially in the mix. There's been names like Eli Drinkowitz been floated around, Kenny Dillingham, James Franklin, but he just recently took the Virginia Tech job. So obviously that's out. And so we'll know in about 2 weeks because John Cohen has said he wants to make the announcement by basically after the Iron Bowl, but like maybe like a day after the Iron Bowl, to paraphrase it. Um, I don't know. I don't know who the head coach is going to be. It, it just depends. A lot of it depends on like if they are willing to keep Durkin for the sake of roster retention, or do they just prefer to bring in their own guys? Especially like because if you're a guy like Summerall who doesn't have any connections or anything like that to like any higher power forward level kind of job, it would be smart to at least keep somebody like Durkin on staff who already knows the land of the recruiting in the SEC and things like that. But obviously we'll see. And then not only that, the Iron Bowl is going to be a 6:30 p.m. kickoff next Saturday in Jordan-Hare Stadium. We are getting a night game for the Iron Bowl, and potentially, maybe Auburn will look to trip up Alabama because one more loss potentially puts them out of the SEC championship game and the college football game. So definitely something to keep your eye on. But that's enough with those news. But as far as the game for this Saturday for Auburn, they're coming off a bye week. Obviously, they lost to Vanderbilt. This should be a win for them. Now, Mercer is, I believe, has only one loss on their schedule. So they're a pretty good team. I'm very curious to see on what changes they have done during this bye week to have a much better result, not only for the Mercer game, but also the Alabama game. Because I would assume that during this bye week, they have already started to scout and even maybe prepare some, at least to some extent, for the Alabama game. But obviously, their focus is going to be on Mercer. Ashton Daniels is not going to play. He is going to sit this one out. He's going to preserve his red shirt so he can return for the 2026 season. This is not like a huge thing, although some people will make it out to be. This was always the plan with Ashton Daniels, even when Hugh Freeze was here, was to redshirt him, let him sit for a year, and maybe even break the glass in case of emergency situation, and when it comes to the quarterback position. But this was always basically the plan. I don't have a problem with it. You get, you don't have to worry about running a risk of him being injured in this game and have him ready and fresh to go for the Iron Bowl. So that means we're going to see, I believe Durkin talked to the media on Monday, I think it was, and we are going to see both Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight. Now, who comes out first could be anyone's guesses, to be quite honest, but um, we're going to see Deuce get a full chance. Now we did see him earlier, but it was in garbage time against Ball State with the twos and the threes, so we didn't really get a good, accurate sense of him as a football player because of that. Now this is an opportunity where he is going to be going out there with the ones, and who knows? Because I don't think, 'cause I think they're going to want to try to put this game away early. So I could see the situation where you play Jackson first, put the game away early, and then just let Deuce go the rest of the way. Or honestly, I can see, well, we already know what we got in Jackson. Let's just play Deuce and let him just go with it, and we'll see how it goes. Now, obviously, the one thing you don't want to do is have another New Mexico State situation where you end up losing to Mercer. I don't think that will happen. I think these guys will be fully uh, will give their full attention to this game. Um, Offensively, I am curious to see what more Derek Nix has come up with, or is this going to be kind of very vanilla to maybe hold things back for the Iron Bowl? Because for all, I mean, I'm not saying that's a must win, but that like a good you want that win. I think more than anything, so you're going to try to pull out all the stops. I thought Derek Nix did a really good job play calling wise. For the most part, during the Vanderbilt game, I think the end of the game when Auburn could have potentially. Well, that's more like a combination of Nix and Durkin, but they could have potentially maybe done some things different to where they could have got into a field goal range and won in regulation, but that didn't happen when in overtime and lost. But from other than that, the off like the play calling, the up tempo, everything about what we saw from the offense against Vanderbilt looked very good. This one I would expect if Deuce starts, I expect to see a lot of more probably heavy running in this game. Obviously, you're going to take shots with receivers and stuff like that. You definitely don't want to get anybody injured or anything like that to where they'll miss the Iron Bowl next week. But I think so Cobb, Mabson, Robinson. Uh, you're definitely going to see a full load of them in this game for sure. Speaking of Cobb, Jeremiah Cobb, he could get it this game, but he only needs, I believe, 96 more yards to be 1,000 yard rusher, which is really surprising because of him splitting the time, the little bit of time with Damari Alston earlier in the season is really surprising that he is on the cusp of getting 1,000 yards, and it's just crazy and like good for him. I think. I mean, obviously, I think he'll get it for sure because the game plan should be to just run the ball and get out of there with a win. So I would expect him uh, to get it defensively for Auburn. Um, just handle business. I mean, again, it's Mercer, but I would like to see because a lot of people felt like after the Vanderbilt game, be, the defense kind of like let down the team compared to what we've seen them do all season long. Is that because Durkin had to, split time and be head coach, or like what? I don't know. I expect to see a much better defensive efficiency out of these guys. Um, you've done a pretty good job all season stopping the run. It's been the pass defense was where it has hurt Auburn. I'm surprised not many more teams took advantage of that throughout the season. Like there were some teams who took some shots and stuff like that, but the way Vanderbilt was just carving up the Auburn secondary was like it was very much reminiscence of the Baylor game to start the season. So I'm curious to see how that shapes out as well. Um, but I mean that's relatively it. You should handle the game. You're a vastly more talented team than Mercer, so you should have this game taken care of. For Deuce Knight, if he does start, I just want to see him, play within the offense. Let's see what he can actually do as a quarterback. Is he going to be the quarterback of the future, or do we need to prepare ourselves to find somebody to come in and things like that and compete in 2026? That's going to be an interesting question to find out about Deuce because we watched him in the game against Ball State, and you know, first time playing, probably had jitters and things like that. And he also was playing with the backup, so he wasn't playing with the starters, so this should be a very much different experience for him, having the full complement of the offensive line, the running backs, the wide receivers. It should be a very much different situation. Something I'm curious about too, I have not really heard much about, was Horatio Fields. Like, obviously, I wonder if Auburn's going to go and try to seek a medical red shirt for him. Because if that happens, you have him come back. Hey, that's a positive, because you're probably going to lose Eric Singleton unless you pay him a good bit of money to come back. Obviously, that'll be up to the head coach and everything, but that'd just be another nice weapon to have. And obviously, we won't know about the rest of the roster after the Iron Bowl until the new coach is hired. We'll have that whole situation. So there's still like a lot of moving parts and pieces going on that we don't have an answer to. But listen, we got 2 more weeks of Auburn football. Now, if Auburn can pull this off, they could probably go to a bowl game. But I'm not sure, because with the college football playoff expanding and bowls have been diminished because of it. Um, I'm curious, but we got 2 more weeks of Auburn football. It's crazy. I'm sure a lot of people are like ready for it to come to an end, because this season has been a nightmare. So, well, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Auburn should easily handle Mercer. I don't know what the spread is, but Auburn should. I think Auburn will win this game, like, I don't know, like 48-10, something, maybe some score like that. Auburn should easily handle them, so I'm not too concerned about the game. I think if Deuce starts, he'll have a good game. Jackson, I just would like to hit. I feel bad for him. Obviously, a lot of people like to rag on him and everything like that, and I hope nobody like boos him when he goes out there, because that would just suck. It's not all his fault. Now, he does have some blame in some of the games and stuff like that, but it's not all his fault. So I do hope nobody like goes and tries to boo him and stuff like that when his name gets called or he goes out there first or anything like that. But we'll find out Saturday, 1 p.m. kickoff. But guys, that's relatively it for me. Like I said, tomorrow on Thursday, I'll have my recap of the Auburn basketball game up as well. So definitely be sure you hit that like and subscribe, hit the notification button to stay up to date on everything. But I thank you guys again for hanging out. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.